north of the border because the shootout is reaching a climax. David Tanner.
And the score at the moment is Rangers, who've missed 2 penalties, 2, Celtic 3, and Thomas Chanchara is standing over the ball now. If he scores this for Celtic, Celtic are through to Hampden Park and the semi-finals of the Scottish Cup. Up comes Chanchara. And he scored! Celtic, against all the odds, have beaten Rangers at Ibrox Park in the Scottish Cup on a penalty shootout. It's Rangers 2, Celtic 4 on penalties, and on come the Celtic supporters from behind that goal there, celebrating with the players. Behind the goal, the Celtic fans are on the pitch, they're in the goal mouth, they're in this penalty box, and the Rangers players trudge off dejectedly. Rangers dominated this game, but they could not find a finish. Celtic had a goal chucked off in the regulation 90 minutes, scored by Dyson Maeda. It was offside. Rangers then had a goal in extra time, scored by Fernandez. It was off. Oh, now the Celtic supporters are coming across to the Rangers supporters, and on come the Rangers supporters. This is turning into a serious incident now at Ibrox Park. Stewards and police are wading in. They're trying to keep the Rangers fans out, and they seem to be doing so successfully at the moment. But the Rangers supporters are being penned in at the moment. One is just being pinned down in front of me at the moment, but there are about 500 Celtic supporters in the penalty box at the moment. They're now trying to break the crossbar. It reminds me of Wembley 1977. These are the supporters who are banned from Celtic Park, the so-called Green Brigade Ultras. Now they're coming across to goad the Rangers supporters. The police are doing their best to keep them apart at the moment, but the Rangers players are being taken up the tunnel at the moment, and now the cops are. In fact, one of the Celtic officials, I think, is being attacked at the moment. And on come the Rangers fans from the Coleman Road end. Oh, it's a full invasion now. Oh, this is reminiscent of the 1980 Scottish Cup final. And again, it's these ultras with their black gear on, and they've got their faces covered. They're coming on. Oh, there's a senior police officer has got a bat on it. He's just thumped it off a Celtic supporter. And the Rangers supporter's just been thumped by a senior cop. He's got the braiding on his cap, and now the batons are drawn. The police have drawn their batons, and on come more supporters from the Rangers end. Oh, this is a tragedy for Scottish football. This has all been caused by the ultras at the Celtic end, and then the Rangers ultras. And anybody who says the ultras are good for football and the atmosphere is great should watch what I'm seeing now. There are flares being thrown in each direction, smoke billowing from the Celtic end, and the flare that was thrown at them has now come back, and it's hit a steward now. There's a thin yellow line of Police Scotland officers and stewards on the Celtic, on the 18-yard box, the 18-yard line at the Celtic end of the ground. There are about 2,000 Rangers supporters, all wearing the same clothing, the same blue hats. In other words, it's these organised ultras, and they're now throwing bottles. They're now squaring up to stewards there as well. The Celtic fans who came onto the pitch, there's one at the moment blessing himself in front of the Rangers supporters, and there's somebody throwing a cane that formerly held a flag. They're just pushing these Celtic fans back into the crowd, but there's another one goading. He's got through the stewards and he's goading the Rangers fans. The cane which was thrown at the Rangers fans has now been thrown back, and it's gone back towards the Rangers fans. And the ultras who started this at the Rangers end are now leaving the pitch, and they're heading in to the Rangers enclosure here. They appear to be trying to get to the Celtic dugout. All the players and all of the officials are off the pitch, but now they're just trying to keep these supporters apart. For all those people who celebrated the fact that there were 7,500 away fans at this game, I said a number of times that there is always a difficulty when there are away supporters in great numbers at Old Firm games, but this is the worst that we've seen in generations. There is a fan now trying to punch his way out of an arm lock by stewards. But as it stands, there's more bottles been thrown by these young supporters. There's a woman in a Rangers club uniform hauling off supporters. As it stands, the Celtic fans are all off the pitch and the Rangers fans are all off the pitch. There is a long line of stewards and police officers right along from off the pitch, the side of the wing of the pitch, right across the edge of the penalty box. And they appear to have separated the supporters at the moment, Adrian.
Well, David, very, very clear description of what's going on. Appreciate that from you, David. But what are the repercussions from this? What's going to happen now? What's going to happen in Glasgow tonight? This sounds like a massive moment in Scottish football history. Well,
as I speak, another 50 police officers have just run inside the stadium. The scenes are quite extraordinary. There are still missiles being thrown. Let me just update you on where we are with it. The supporters are off the pitch at the moment. There are about 100, 200 police and stewards from one side of the pitch to the other, 20 yards out from the Celtic end goal, and they're now putting a ring around the Celtic supporters. On come the horses now. Here they come. 6, 7, 8, 9 horses are coming in from the Celtic end of the famous Rangers gates. At the Celtic end of the ground, they're coming in now, and more police are arriving now. This is a major incident, and let me just repeat this. This has been caused by the ultras. First of all, the Celtic ultras came over the advertising hoarding, breaking the computerised advertising hoardings, which, by the way, cost hundreds of thousands of pounds. They were flattened. These are the fans that Celtic have banned from their own stadium at the moment. So Celtic have to look at what happened here, how they got the tickets, how they got to the front of the stand, and they have to look historically at all those executives who allowed the ultras culture to develop inside their stadium, and the same at Ibrox Park. So this has been the cause of this problem. Don't be in any doubt about that. It is the ultras who have caused this, and this is an ugly stain on Scottish football. The Rangers fans, the normal Rangers fans, are beginning to leave. A lot of them are staying to watch what's happening, and the Celtic support are staying in the ground. They're all doing the huddle from the back of the Broomloan stand to the front of it. They are now contained inside that stadium.
Well, David, I mean, I've seen some footage of Celtic fans just evading stewards at Ibrox, charging into the ground. I've seen footage and pictures of the ultras that you're talking about. And one more quick question. I want to bring in Charlie Adam on this very shortly. Must remind our listeners, this game was at Ibrox. They might be thinking it's at Hampden because it's so big. Ibrox in a quarter-final.
Oh, someone just got hit by a bottle. Oh, sorry, Adrian. The bottles are flying backwards and forwards.
Well, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Can they go to Hampden? Can they allow the set of fans, Celtic have won this 4-2, can they allow them to go to Hampden? Is there a case to say that either you play a semi-final behind closed doors, which would be unfair on Falkirk, Dunfermline, whoever wins the St Mirren Partick game later on, or do you just say, well, that's no more from either of them in the Scottish Cup this season, and you chuck Celtic out? I don't know what the right answer is here, David.
Oh, I've just seen another bottle of what looked like the tonic wine, Buckfast. Like, these are glass bottles being thrown from the Rangers West enclosure into the Celtic support, and it hit someone right on the chest. But listen, there are going to be major repercussions about this. When it happened in 1980, it was to do with alcohol and sectarianism. Government, and that was central government in Westminster, introduced the drinks ban at Scottish football, and Scottish football turned round from being the worst in the UK to being having the best behaviour. In recent years, the behaviour at games has plummeted, and there is one reason for that, and one reason alone, and it's these ultra supporters. The Green Brigade at Celtic and the Union Bears at the other end at Rangers. Be in no doubt about that. These clubs will have to do something about it, because young supporters are seeing this as being a normal way to behave, and it is far from normal, and it is against the law. They come in with their flares, these explosive devices, which are not permitted at football stadium, but we see it week in, week out. And now we've seen fighting today We've seen officials from clubs being involved. The cops at the moment, I've just seen a cop bat away a bottle that was thrown at him, and a Celtic fan has just caught a bottle that was thrown at him, and he'll probably throw it back. No, he's put it down at his feet, to the credit of the individual I'm looking at. But it's been utter chaos, and I think there is a man being treated for some form of injuries by medics on the pitch at the moment. He came out of the Celtic stand. I think he might have been hit by something. But for pity, Police Scotland, who've got to deal with this shambles in and around the ground. But also, there could be trouble happening, people watching this across Scotland, across the UK, across Northern Ireland, across the Republic of Ireland, such as the size and the spread of the Celtic and Rangers supports. It's hard to believe that there was a dramatic penalty shootout just a few minutes ago here. I've almost forgotten it, such as the dramatic scenes, these appalling scenes at Ibrox Park. But something has to be done about this now. The clubs have to look at themselves, and the executives who permitted this culture to develop in Scottish football, and it became out of control very quickly, and it took Celtic in particular years to deal with it. And now we've had yet another pitch invasion, players going into the crowd, the crowd piling on, and these things can ignite incidents, and that's what happened today. They get away with it sometimes, but not today.
David, we'll leave it there for the time being. Thank you very much. Any updates later? Celtic are through, but it's the scenes after. And Charlie Adam, former Rangers man, is with us. You've seen footage of the scenes at Ibrox. What do you make of it?
Yeah, it's a disgrace, Ed. It's a sad day for Scottish football. We had an incident like this a few years ago in the Scottish Cup final, Hibs and Rangers. Both teams invaded both supporters invaded the pitch. But this, for the old firm that we talk about being our leadership teams and they represent, it's an embarrassment for our game. And as a national team, we're trying to improve and we're trying to get better, but these two clubs have let us down as a nation, and they have to have a look at themselves today. Both football clubs have to have a look at themselves, because they are the standard bearers for us as football clubs, and both supporters have let themselves down. It's an embarrassment for Scottish football. This should not be happening in this day and age. This should not be happening, and we have to get control of it quickly, because it'll keep escalating and escalating. There'll be big problems.
I can't believe what we've witnessed here. I was at the Hampden semi-final in 2016, I think it was, when Rangers won on penalties, when they were a championship side at the time, and I thought that was on the brink of boiling over. Well, it has boiled over at Ibrox today. You can now see why there are calls for away fans to be banned from Ibrox and Celtic Park.
Yeah, they're both. It's as simple as that. And I was a big advocate for playing in front of 7,500, 8,000 away supporters. I've been there as a former player. I've had that experience. The atmosphere was incredible. I never ever felt when I was playing it would come to this. But these people that are now trying to ruin our game should be banned for life. These are moments that should not be happening. This is tragedy for Scottish football. Scottish football is in a bad place now, and it's important now that the SFA, Ian Maxwell and his people, they step up and they ban the right people, and they make a big stance on this for me. And both clubs should be punished heavily for this, because that is not right. That is not what we accept, and that's not what we should do. I get the old firm. It's a big game and there's a lot going into it, but that should not be happening.
It is extraordinary, and just seeing footage from a few minutes back when the players were just leaving the field, and I saw Manny Fernandez, the Rangers centre-half, looking over, almost in disbelief at what he was seeing. Flares being thrown into the Celtic fans, and then flares being thrown the other way as well. Raises the question, how do they get these flares into grounds? They shouldn't be into grounds. We're seeing a fan who's been tackled by security on the pitch, escape from that, then escape through a cordon of security to go back into the crowd and basically escape any kind of punishment or judgment on him. And I do wonder, security in terms of stewarding, I find I've got a lot of sympathy for those guys. In terms of policing, yes, David told us that a load of police ran into the stadium.
Yeah, but Ed, why were they not there in the first place? We should know this is the build-up. It's a penalty shootout to get quarter-finals of the Cup. The police should be in there already, and I feel, like you say, I feel for these stewards, because they're only there to protect other people. When you have so many people running onto the pitch, they can't do anything. The police needed to take control of that situation, double up the police, because there's been a lot of problems in terms of both football clubs on and off the pitch, and at some point this was going to boil over, and it has done today. And the police have to make sure that this never happens again, and the SFA have to step up as well, because no, it's not good signs. And again, as players stood on that pitch now, they would never have expected this and seen this ever before in their whole career. So yeah, it's a sad day for Scottish football.
And it looks like both sets of fans. I don't think there's any doubt about that whatsoever. So what do? Do you ban them from next season's Scottish Cup? Do you take Celtic out of the Scottish Cup this season? What do you do? Where do you go from here?
I think you have to sit down, reflect and look at this, and it's important that the head of the SFA, Ian Maxwell, has to big punishments. Both clubs have to come together. They have to fight this together, and eradicate this and get these people out of the game, because I get it and I see it. Not just Rangers and Celtic. All the clubs in Scottish football, or most clubs in Scotland, they have this little ultra group, and they all dressed a little bit different. And it's not just the Old Firm. There's other clubs doing it as well. And I get they trying to bring an atmosphere, but why do you need to go to a game and put a thing over your head? Because listen, there's enough cameras there for all these people to get caught. I've seen some people there running, putting a thing over their head, hoods over. They've already been on camera. They'll get caught and this there. But like I say, it's a sad day for Scottish football, and I hope that nobody is really hurt. And
it's just it's shocking, truly shocking. David Tanner has described the scenes at Ibrox, and there will be repercussions. There's no question about that. We'll bring you more developments as and when we can.